Hello, today in my video I'm going to talk about how I think LA would definitely benefit from having a more biophilic sort of design centered around nature, connecting humans to nature, being in contact with nature, seeing it wherever they go. And this really starts with getting rid of like the freeways, like highways. It's all over the place and everybody in LA uses them. So I think it's going to be a big challenge to move away from that to more small scale focusing on neighborhoods. But there's ways to do this through like incentives. Like we've seen it done in these countries that we've seen in Singapore, in the case study that we saw, like, in Phoenix, people are doing it. Like there's movements that are happening all around the world, and LA is in a place where it needs to catch up and not fall behind, because the gap in equity between, like we've talked about this, in the wealthiest neighborhoods of LA, they have everything that you need, top notch. Like to them it's a bubble. They wouldn't see what's happening in East LA, where there's no tree canopy, there's the heat island, people don't have access to basic human necessities. So I think this starts with expanding on the wetlands that we already have. It starts with the water management, because in order to have green spaces, you need to have water to keep these green spaces fed. So LA, we saw like last week there was a huge storm that came through and streets were flooding, drains weren't, allowing water to flow and get to where it needs, because they clog so fast from however much there is like debris there is in the water. And stormwater management is a big thing, and then wastewater management I think would also be a huge thing, to make sure we have closed cycles and we're not losing water, because we are in a desert state and we're not in a drought anymore, but you never know. And then I think another thing that would be expanding the wetlands and the marshes that we have. But the issue is that if we expand those, what happens to the neighborhoods that have enclosed this like nature's like a natural spot? It's how it's supposed to be, but it's out of place where it's supposed to be. It's a weird paradox there. And I feel like LA has to also think about finding a way to get green pathways. Like there's very few places where I think of a park where I can go on a walk, a hike or something, and I don't see cars. There's no parks like that anywhere. You'd have to go to the LA forest, you have to go to the Orange County area, you have to go inland. There's no green spaces, natural forests, within the LA. Like it is literally an urban island. So change has to start from like within. In these neighborhoods, they have to expand the parks that they already have, find the funding to find ways to get these systems that would help LA be more resilient into place. It's going to be a journey, but I think it can be done.